Okay, so today we're going to do the DCP project, which I call the Design Copy Paste project. For those that are in the internet world, this obviously is not going to be for a grade, but for those that are in my class, this will be worth 100 points. Some of the concepts that I want you guys to learn are the copy and paste into concept, and that's you learning how to copy and paste into selections on Photoshop. So we're going to be using the magic wand tool a lot, and this allows you to put any image into a selection on a layer in Photoshop. And then obviously I want you guys to understand the concept of layout and learn how to create a multi-layered collage and create your own shapes that describe you. Now you might ask, why are we doing this? Well, art is the most intimate form of self-expression. It's a way to connect with others on a deeper level. More than anything else, it can be an outlet for excessive emotion. So anytime you're feeling in a mood where you need to get out your expressions, this is the way to do it. And this project will be a digital snapshot collage of what you like, love, care about at this exact moment of your life. And that's what sets us apart from the other animals in the animal kingdom, because you don't see animals making art or appreciating art. It's all about the aesthetics. So for those that want these printed out, they will be 16 inches by 20 inches tall. So in my classroom, they'll be as big as the ones on the board. And here's some student examples from the past, and you can tell just by looking at them what the students are into and what they like. So this student really enjoys video games, whereas this student, she's really into her pop culture. She's got a lot of pop culture references. Now the reason I like this one so much is because they infused it with personal pictures of herself and of her friends, and it just makes it that much more personal. So you can actually make these as a gift and have a theme to it. Maybe it's for a girlfriend or boyfriend, or a significant other, or a family member. You can make it kind of themed. So you kind of get the idea of what we're going for. So here's one that I made 7 years ago in 2011, and obviously I believe I've changed, and if I was to make one today, which I am going to, it'll be a lot different. It'd be similar in some aspects, but it may also be different as far as some of the things I would choose. So I could tell just looking at the before and after of a snapshot of what my life was like back then and what I was into, and that's kind of interesting to see. So the first step is you'll need at least 25 to 30 objects that you will need to trace digitally, and I'm going to show you how to do that using the blending options in Photoshop. And then the second step is you'll need to color in that coloring sheet with a photo from the internet using the copy paste into skill that I will also teach you. My objectives for this project are for you guys to create a digital snapshot of your life in a collage, use at least 25 to 30 objects for your coloring sheet layer, learn about copying images and using the selection tools, the copy and paste into skill, and hopefully be motivated to create meaningful art that reflects who you are as a person. So to get the project open, for those that are in my class, you go to my course in Schoology, go to the weeks 19 through 20. If that's a different week, maybe I changed it's a different year. Look for the copy and paste design Photoshop name. You click on that, it's going to be the first file right here. You're going to click on this, and then it says download file. So I'm going to download the file. It's going to pop up down here. Just click on that so it opens up when it's done, and it should open it up in Photoshop. Now for those that don't have access to Schoology and my site, obviously this doesn't concern you, but if you want to make one, this is how you do it. You go to File, New, and then when the box pops up, which it will hopefully here shortly, there we go. You're going to change this to inches, make this 16 inches wide, 20 inches tall, with a 150 resolution. Now obviously if you're doing this in the comfort of your own home, you can do whatever size you want. I would say if you're doing it from home, I would even bump it up to 300 resolution and then just hit create, and it'll be the same exact template as mine. Now when I work in Photoshop, I don't like to have all the encumbrances of all these windows open, so I don't know if you're like me, but these are the only ones I really have check marked are layers, options, tools, and then of course the project itself. So that's the only ones I really have open for this project. You're going to use the magic wand tool a lot, and in case you can't find it, that means it's because it's under the quick selection tool. And in case you forget how to get to the magic wand tool, you go 4 down, and then you see these little black arrows in the bottom corner. That means there's a sub menu, so I'm just going to right click and go to magic wand just so you know where it is. So the first step is I'm just going to show you the 4 basic ways to create objects into your composition. So the first one will be using the custom shape tool, and again, if you can't find the custom shape tool, look for the square. These are all the shapes. You just right click on that, and the custom shape tool will be at the very bottom. So when you click on that, your options bar will change. So if you want to see what tools you have or what shapes you have, you can go up here and you can see all the shapes you have. If you don't have all these shapes, it's probably because you haven't loaded them yet. So in case you don't know how to do that, you just go over here to the little settings key or little settings button, go to all, replace all, click OK, and now I'm going to pick a shape that I like. Maybe it's, I think I'm all about the yin and yang right now, so there it is. So once you click on it, you click out of here, this is how you make a custom shape. You click, drag, and let go. Now you kind of want the shape to be about this size right here. If it's too big or too small, you can always go to edit free transform path and make it bigger or smaller. But make sure you hit the enter key to get rid of the blue things. And I hit the enter key twice, first to get rid of the edit free transform box, and then the second way to get rid of the blue vector path. So here it is. Doesn't really matter what color you have here because we're all going to change that here in blending options. So over here in my layer window, you'll see it says shape 1. I probably want to relabel this. So here's how you change the name. Where it says shape 1, you just double click and then you type in what it is. That way it can be a little more organized. Alright, here's how you go to blending options. You either just double click right here in the gray to bring up blending options, or you can right click, go to blending options. It's the same thing. There's 8,000 ways to do the same thing in Photoshop. That's what I've learned. So I'm going to go to stroke. Now notice I'm not clicking on the box. I'm going to click on the word stroke. It highlights it. Now over here, here's what you want your settings to be. I want the size to be about 12 pixels, and I want the position to be on the outside. Once I have that, I click OK. Alright, so we have this going on right here. Now the second step is I want to make this see-through but keep the stroke outline. So what I will do is I'll go over here to my fill. Notice my layer selected. Go to fill, turn this down to 0, and there you have your see-through object. So the next step, and this is a step you only need to really do once if you're going to make it all at the same time, is you're going to right click on this layer, go to copy layer style, and then just remember that you did that. So now I'm going to show you how to type in words. You click on the T, type tool over here, you'll notice your options bar changes, and you will see, oh, there's all my fonts. So I'm going to click on that. Now you don't want a thin font, you want a thick font. So look for a font that's kind of thick. I kind of like the Impact font. That's a pretty cool font. And then over here where it says 72 point, or there's probably say 12 point or 14, just make sure that says 72. So you click on that, go down to 72, and you're good. Now a lot of people like to make text boxes. Don't do that. All you need to do is just click once and then type in what you want to put. So I put my last name, okay, because that's who I am. So it's still not big enough. So you want to go to Edit, Free Transform to get that box open, and then you can make it bigger by dragging the corner. Now there's something else that's pretty cool in Photoshop. While it's still in the free transform mode, I'm going to hold down Control on my keyboard, and if I grab it right here, click and drag, I can make it slanted, italicized like that. And you can also, if I hold down Control, click right here, maybe have it go up at a certain angle. So I'll do that. And then to get rid of that box, you just hit Enter. Alright, so then I can move it with the Move tool. Move it somewhere where I want, say right there, right there. Now, if you remember, I copied the layer style on the Yin Yang layer. Now I'm going to go to right click on the type layer that I just did and go to Paste Layer Style. It does the work for you. So that's how you do those two. Now if I go and use Google Images and say I look up a Adidas logo, because I love Adidas. Now if you click on it, you see a gray and white checkerboard. You can save them and then open them up and use the Move tool and drag it in. That just takes too much time. So I'm just going to look one with a solid background like these that I like. Maybe try to get one that's isolated. Try to get a logo that's big but also kind of simple. You don't want to choose one that has a bunch of colors like this or split like that. You want something simple. So this is a good one. And then I'm going to right click on it, go to Copy Image, go back to Photoshop, Edit, Paste. That's way too big, so I go to Edit, Free Transform, or Control T. And if I hold down the Shift key, I can keep it in proportion as I move it down. So I'll move it right about there, and then hit the Enter key. Now chances are, if I right click and paste layer style, it's just going to be a box. I don't want that. I want to actually keep the white, or keep the white, or keep the black. I think I want to get rid of the white, so I'm going to use the Magic Wand tool, select the white. Now if I want to select all the white, I'll go to Select, Similar. It selects all the white. Hit backspace to get rid of it. It deletes it. To get rid of the selection, you just go to Select, Deselect. And then if you remember, I already copied the layer style, so all I need to do is right click, paste layer style, and then use the Move tool and move that where I need it, and I'll put it right there. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how to do celebrities. So when you do celebrity faces, I would avoid photos that show whole bodies. I would try to just get ones of the face. So I mean, if you go to Google, you can always go to Tools, probably want a large size, and you can even do a face, so it's easier to see. So you try to get one that has good contrast. So I kind of like this one right here. So you open it up, you're going to right click on the image, go to Copy Image, go back to Photoshop, Edit, Paste, and then we need to make this black and white. So because if we just say we copy a layer style right here, go right here, paste layer style, it's just going to be a box, so we don't want that. So we needed to make it black and white first. So remember the step: image, adjustments, threshold, and that pops this up. And then you can move this up or down to where you like it, to where you think it looks the best. Hit OK. Now I usually get rid of the black, and I keep the white, so I'm going to use a magic wand tool. I'm just going to select one of the black parts. Now to select all the black parts, you just go to select, similar, and then to get rid of those you just hit backspace. So this is what it looks like. Obviously we want to get rid of that selection, so we go to select, deselect, and then we're going to right click on this layer because we already copied a layer style. Go to paste layer style. So there she is right there. Now if you wanted to, if you don't like the way that looks, you can always go back into blending options, which is double click right here and go to stroke, and you could turn that up so you can see it better. I don't like that. I kind of like them all being the same, but it's, you know, it's your preference. So hit OK. Now for those OCD people, you will have a box here, so that's just something you'll have to get used to. Also, you probably want to get in the habit of labeling your layers, and here's how you do that. You figure out what it is. Okay, hit the eyeball. That's Adidas. I'm on layer 1 right here. Double click, Adidas. Okay, so I'm going to move Shakira, just make it a little smaller. So I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform, and then as I hold down the Shift key so it stays in proportion, you can, you know, move it a little bit, maybe rotate it just the slightest. Put it right there. I don't want a lot of negative space. Might want to zoom it in. I'll close that off. There we go. You fit on screen. Alright, and now that I've showed you the the 4 different ways to add stuff into your coloring sheet, I'm now going to just fill it up very fast, and you can see you know, kind of what you want to go for with yours. Okay, so once you get it to where you like it, and there's not a lot of negative space, and I didn't really overlap like I have before in the past, but I did make sure to, you know, butt up
excuse me, my objects against the other objects and logos against the other logos, just so there's not a lot of open negative space in the background. I did try to label everything as best as I possibly could. Now I would always save it, save as, and I saved it as copy and paste project coloring sheet. That way you always have, the backup. Now what you want to do when you get done with your coloring sheet, you want to go to Layer, Flatten Image. What this does, it makes it all one flat image. So this way you can use your magic wand tool and paste into each little section. Now up here you have, when you use the magic wand, it's just, if you click once and you click to another one, see how it switches? If you go to this one, it's add to selection, so whatever else you click selects that too. So there's different ways to select stuff. In the next video I will show you how to color it in, but the last step is to go to Layer, Flatten Image after you save it, and then you want to save this too, but save it as a JPEG. So copy and paste project coloring sheet, save as type, let's turn that into JPEG. It's saved. Okay, and then you're ready to color it in. So we'll do that with the next video.